Hey, it's Greg at the Vinyl Arms, and thanks for tuning in. This is a response video to John, the 6-inch pianist. I'm still relatively new to YouTube. I started watching YouTube videos maybe sort of 2 years ago, something like that. And John's channel was one of the sort of first channels that I came across. His take on, he's very influential. You know, he listens to a lot of soul music and reggae music, and honestly, I've bought several records from on the back of watching his recommendations on his channel. So yeah, great guy, and he set us all a challenge. He's put out his challenge to the vinyl community to celebrate his 10 years of making videos. Now that's a blooming long time doing this. So respect for that, John, first and foremost. But he set out a challenge for us all to play 3 songs. He does this Jukebox series with Headley and various other people who he invites along, and they're always really entertaining. And it's funny watching people get into different states of inebriation as well. Paris Hilton. But there we go. You know, great videos. Anyway, so he set us a challenge to play 3 songs. Yeah, in a you know, we're in the pub, play 3 songs. What 3 songs are you going to play? So I'm kind of taking up the challenge, and I'm trying to keep things positive, keep the music upbeat, you know, keep the vibe good. So here we go. So first song I'm going to play early on in the night. You know, people are just having the first drink, something to get people sort of lifted. You know, a nice sort of a nice tune. We're going down the reggae route, reggae ska, I'd say actually for this one, and it's the ever classic Toots and the Maytals and Monkey Man. Now, this has been covered by so many great covers. There's a specials cover of this tune, which is well worth checking out. Amy Winehouse did an absolute fabulous version of this song as well. But this is the original, the Toots version is just gold, you know. And honestly, if that doesn't get people enjoying their first pint, nothing will. So kicking off, Toots and the Maytals. Great B-side on this as well, called She's My Scorcher, which is also a really ace tune. So a little bit later on in the night now, people have had a few beers, and, you know, people sometimes do silly things when they've had a few beers, and sometimes end up speaking to people they maybe shouldn't speak to when they've had a few beers. And I couldn't think of anything more perfect than Buzzcocks. Ever fallen in love with someone you shouldn't have fallen in love with? I mean, what a classic tune, what an upbeat vibe, you know, a bit of sort of pop punk. Absolutely love this record, and I can safely say we've probably all been there. You know, in our younger years in the pub, you know, maybe at a point where we started talking to somebody when maybe we shouldn't have done. And I think this song sort of sums it up really well, as does the B-side, Just Lust. But there we go. Buzzcocks, Ever Fall in Love with Anybody You Shouldn't Have Fallen in Love With. Now, John, I'm a bit of a tight Yorkshireman, and we're getting towards the end of the evening, and I've still got sort of half a pint that I want to enjoy, and I want to get value for my money, you know, in terms of what I'm going to spend my pound on, you know, for the next spin on the jukebox. So, you know, does this jukebox fix 12 inches? I hope it does. And we're going to go for Giorgio Moroder and The Chase. Now, this is well, when's this from? 1978. And it still sounds as fresh now, today, as it did back then. It's a classic slab. Well, you know, Giorgio Moroder did all that work with Daft Punk. You know, really influential guy in sort of the disco circles and electronic music. And this sort of the pulsing bass line on this, and it's 13 minutes. So you're really getting your value for money's worth on the jukebox. I'm going to play all 13 minutes out of this wonderful electronic masterpiece. And it really is, you know, so if you're not familiar with Giorgio Moroder, or you're not familiar with this particular tune, it is really excellent on Casablanca Records. So, you know, do check that out. So thanks for listening. John, thanks for setting this challenge. Thank you for doing all these great videos, and take care. Bye-bye.